Orbaga, OG Star Wars, and I welcome you to my channel, and thank you so much for the little spike in subscribers. So all of you that subscribed within 24 hours, I thank you so much for joining my channel. And I'm here to talk a little bit about the rumored or theory or even leak that Leia was supposed to be the Last Jedi. And so since we're talking about Rian Johnson and or JJ, I thought maybe a little bit of like this lens flare would be fitting. All right. Yeah, so the sun's coming in right here, so I thought it would be interesting little contrast to the topic I'm talking about. So I'm not changing it. So it's morning time, all natural here, so please bear with me. You're seeing me in my natural form without makeup. Anyways, back to Leia. So it was said by Carrie Fisher's brother that she was going to be the Last Jedi in the sequel trilogy. And I commented on a few YouTubers I love to follow about my thoughts. And some of you may have read my thoughts there. If you have not, I'm here now, so thank you for listening. I think they really missed the opportunity on this little revelation. And the reason I say this is the first missed opportunity was doing away with the original EU. If you guys are big fans of the EU or even read in the EU, I'm gonna move this here, changing it now, you would see that Leia did train through her lifetime after she found out her lineage and her Skywalker heritage. She did train as a Jedi through Luke. Eventually, her last master was Master Sabatine, and but for most part, her path was basically reestablishing the government, and she was Mon Mothma's right-hand person to get this to get the government going, the New Republic. And she did get training through Luke, but it kept on getting pushed back because of the fact that she had important tasks to be taken care of and all that. However, she's still trained. She's still Luke made her a lightsaber, which was crimson. The first lightsaber she had was crimson, so it was like a reddish. And then from there, as she got older and as time prolonged in the lore, she trained more and more. And in the Darkness trilogy, which I have a video about, so check it out, she became a Jedi Knight. And so that's very compelling. So this is how they missed that mark, first off, by doing away with that story. Now, they wanted creative freedom, yes, and I understand that, but there's a lot of creative freedom still, even if you would have kept the original lore intact, especially if you're going down the same path. So that really does not make sense to me. Also, now going into the new canon, that's where it's rumored. And when you look at the sequel trilogy, there is no hints whatsoever of her even being a Jedi or having training to let alone be the Last Jedi. It's all pointing at Rey, and that's even the impression when Luke says that to Kylo, and it's all pointing at Rey. You don't even see an inkling of interest. It's like Leia's kind of a boring person in the sequel trilogy because we don't see the spunkiness. And I don't care how old you are. If you're a spunky person, if you're a person who's a go-getter, takes no shit, when you get older, when you start giving no shit at all what people think, then that's when you are, I guess you could say, more inclined to be very vocal and a great, I guess you can, leader, spokesperson, or whatever, because now you really don't give a shit whatsoever. And so looking at that and looking at The Last Jedi, there's nothing pointing to her at all, other than her unconsciously saving herself in space, which is very cringy to watch. So much that it created its own meme, and I feel so sorry, Carrie Fisher, that this turned out the way it turned out. Obviously, the new owners don't understand the lore, don't understand the Force, and obviously don't understand that you have to train to become a Jedi, hence why we have Mare Ray's suit. All right, so her being the last Jedi would have made sense if we would have seen training, if we would have seen, and these are going to be the missed opportunities, and then also the plot holes that this could have created, or maybe even changed. But when you're looking back at the sequel trilogy now, the two first movies, okay, first, why would Luke have left then? Or first of all, going back to the EU, or the explained universe of Disney, Lucasfilms, in Bloodlines, why would Leia have to change or send her son to Luke? First of all, why would Luke be gone? Why they would be all together? Because she would be trained under him, which means she would be under his order. Okay? And secondly, we would still see the original three together. Also, why would the resistance have to have been created then? Because we have Leia, who is part of the government as well as a Jedi. All right, so now going into the sequel trilogies. Luke, there would be no reasons for Luke to be in exile hiding. Now, if he's out getting more documents, more archives, we see that in the EU, but he would not have dismissed himself. Now, if the Kylo turning or having those dark side tendencies, I guess you can say, you would think, because Leia would be the Jedi, that she and her brother and even Han would be there together trying to find solutions and ways to help Kylo or Ben overcome. So those are some things to think about, and how that would not make sense if she was the last Jedi. Also, too, in Bloodlines, she did turn down training from Luke. He did teach her the very basic telekinesis training, but she did not get any more training. And I'm sorry, learning how to use just a little bit of the telekinesis does not make one a Jedi, because Force users are born with innate use, very minimum use of the Force, innate. So that's like intuition, quick reflexes, maybe learning to levitate without even noticing it, like things like small things. However, that's just the very small portion of like the innate Force abilities. And so lastly, going into The Last Jedi, why would Rey have to go look for Luke in the first place then? Why would Luke be denying his help? Or why would Luke say the Jedi must end? I mean, there's so many questions to this if Leia took that path, because she's the twin and she is the heir of the Skywalker legacy as well. So there's so many plot holes and so many things to think about, that if this was to come true, or if it is to come true in any sense, it would just totally just make already a Swiss cheese of a sequel trilogy, a trilogy, into a just gaping hole, where, as we see, Star Wars is like now getting sucked into like a black hole. So it's all collapsing within itself. So I just wanted to share that. Is that first, they should not have gotten rid of the EU. We would already have Leia as a Jedi Knight. The trilogy could have took place after Crucible, where she is a Jedi Knight and they're beginning to hand over all the responsibilities to the new generation, and that would be Jaina, Ben Skywalker, and Fel, or Jagged Fel. And we could have seen her maybe in action, alongside her daughter, that would have been amazing. That would have been friggin' amazing. All right, so that's the missed opportunity there. Lastly, just looking at the sequel trilogy in its own, it would just totally deconstruct and unravel everything that's already unraveling. It would just totally implode the whole storyline. Now we see now there's a hinted new Skywalker, or mystery Skywalker, and again, I think that still implodes its own trilogy. And you know, some say it might be Rey. I've heard theories on that. And some say it might be someone else, and it could be like the son of Luke, and that would be kind of interesting. And maybe it would be not implode, but it could, because Luke is the kind of person, if you know his arc in the original lore, that he doesn't give up on family. Even in the movies, he does not give on family until we get the sequel trilogy where he tries to kill his nephew. So basically, and leaving his sister, he gives up on family. So maybe it's fitting for Jake Skywalker. So I just want to leave all that here in the video. Tell me what you think. Tell me your theories of everything that's come out. Tell me if you're gonna go watch. Let me know if how you may like it or how you may dislike it. I like to hear everybody's theories on this. So comment below, and please subscribe. Thank you again for those who came in and subscribed overnight, over 24 hours. Thank you so much. I wish I had everybody's name. I will get that off my YouTube studios, and I would love to do the shout out to everybody. But in the meantime, enjoy your weekend and have a great day. May the force be with you.